What's going on, yo? Fabian Speaks, man. We are back with a video, man. We're doing a reaction to ex-trans girl testifies as Congress considers nationwide ban on transgender procedures on kids. The fact that this is even considers is a crazy perspective, right? Crazy title, right? How is this even a thought to where there's a consideration or it's even acceptable for children to go through sexual a gender adjustment procedure, so to speak. Crazy work, man. Comment down below. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this.
This is child abuse, and we already have legislation that is making other forms of abuse in children illegal. This is no different, and we need to act now.
Chloe Cole said Congress should make sure that more children don't suffer the same experience she's been through. At age 15, she transitioned to become a boy, even having her breasts surgically removed. Just 1 year
15.
later, she realized she made a terrible mistake.
A year later, y'all. Hold up. That's what's crazy to me. And this isn't a simple thing to where, you know, it's just a snap of your fingers and you can completely reverse things. This is something that really makes you reconsider, right? And let me move my webcam because I just realized I'm in the frame like that. But only a year later. Sometimes it takes some people, you know, a few years later to where they reconsider. They're like, what did I do? And a lot of people, that's why they align it with a mental illness. I know saying this could probably get somebody canceled, or most of us canceled, right? Because we live in such a fluid world to where everything is about going with the flow. And they care more about people's feelings than actual keeping it real with individuals. So imagine this. You get a sex change only a year later, and, you know, not to get too, you know, detailed, but she removed her female parts. Right? At 15, that's such an extreme for you to just backpedal a year later. So, I mean, as children, we were all children at a point in time. If you're a grown adult, right? You understand how emotions, feelings, peer pressure, school dynamics, certain circles that you run in all throughout middle school, high school, whatever it may be, kind of affects your decision and choice making. And I can't even imagine what it's like for children today to where everything's plastered over the media. Social media is telling them to do this and do that. It's an agenda. It's an agenda.
The peace and self-acceptance that I was promised never came.
Chloe testified that, like many teens, she felt uncomfortable in her changing body. Turning to social media, she learned about transgenderism and became convinced she needed a...
Turning to social media. See, so how social media is such a poison, especially when people look at other people's lives and they compare themselves. At 15, man, you're going through growth and development. There should not be any detrimental change or finalized change to, first and foremost, your sex. Secondly, for you to be going under the needle, the knife, to actually have certain body parts removed at 15 years old. And look, her jacket even said, her backpack even has trans on it, like a trans sticker. Y'all see that? Crazy work. But once again, like I said, social media. But the point is when you're that young, man, you're getting so many different influences to where I feel sorry for the kids of today. It's like the floodgates have been open and they're exposed to so much. You got elementary schools having books about same-sex couples and same-sex marriages. I'm telling y'all, man, this is the enemy at work.
Sex change.
Before I even had a consultation, medicalization was already on my mind because these ideas were going around that this was an inherent medical condition I had, that somehow on some level I was actually a young man.
Disgusting.
And I would not be able to survive really without going through this.
A transgender activist.
Disgusting, man. Disgusting. And not her. What I'm saying is what's disgusting is that people influence her to believe that this is a mental illness. There's something wrong with you. You should change your sex. No, God doesn't make mistakes. God created you how you are for a reason. And the people that say, I came out this way, I don't know. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that there's been some type of exposure, some type of influence. Maybe you were around certain circles. I mean, because even children, they are very impressionable. If all you're looking at is gay couples and you're watching it on TV, that's a seed that'll be planted. And look at this person, like, look at the facial expressions in the background. Ridiculous.
Survive really without going through this.
You see her face? She just frowned. This lady, you can already tell by the hair, she's probably playing for the other team. I want 5-year-olds to change their sex. It's like, how wicked could you be? A child hasn't even had time to fully understand anything about the world. And you know how people say your prefrontal cortex or whatever it is don't develop till you're 25? I'm no genius, but that's what people say. So you imagine a child to be able to decide whether or not they want to be male or female. And the parents of this child, disgusting. That's where parenting come in. That's to where you put your foot down and say, no, you're a kid. You know, as you grow and develop, you'll figure things out. As you grow and develop, you'll grow into yourself. As you grow and develop, you'll understand more about who you are. This isn't the end all be all.
To survive really without going through this.
A transgender activist told the committee procedures like Chloe's are the right course for some troubled kids and that the government has no right to intervene in a family decision.
Few principles in American law are more settled than the right of parents to make medical decisions for their own children in consultation with their doctors. Parents exercise that right every day for every other medical condition their children may face. Parents, not politicians, know their children best.
Chloe claims doctors don't give parents much of a choice, often
Weak parents. Weak parents is what I would say. Like, if you're letting a child influence and make choices that could have lifelong ramifications, and you're not really, being that protective force and kind of guiding them and helping them understand, hey, you may be at a point in your life to where things are questionable, but that's a part of growing up. If you can't have that dynamic and you're just a pushover and you're soft, oh, well, yes, honey, yo. That's why we live in such a world to where men aren't men anymore. You don't have men in a family putting their foot down saying, no, this ain't it. This is being actually a leader. You have people running around saying, oh, that's toxic masculinity. So men are soft. The women run the relationship. The women are, very fluid in the sense of, oh, well, they can do this, they can do that. And there's no order or structure. So you got even the genders themselves flip-flopped, playing different roles. Men are soft, women are more masculine. So it's like, that already is a recipe for disaster.
predicting dire consequences for not supporting a child's wishes.
The central thesis that attempts to justify child transitioning is transition your daughter
Look at this
or
lady.
bury her. That's the lie my parents were told. And every parent of a trans-identified child I know was told the same thing. Let me say that one more time. The entire premise of transgenderism is that I will take my own life if I don't transition.
A physician told the committee the medical profession should admit it made a mistake in giving puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and performing trans surgeries on minors.
24 systematic reviews find no credible evidence supporting these interventions, not for overall mental health improvement and not for preventing suicide, which is thankfully very rare. Meanwhile, the known or expected harms include infertility, sexual dysfunction, bone density problems, cardiovascular disease, and markedly elevated mortality.
Research also shows most children with gender confusion grow out of it by adulthood.
There's
Thank
currently
you.
no
Thank
scheduled
you.
date for a vote on the nationwide ban. However, 27
Like, just because your kid is threatening to kill themselves, not to say that's something that you should brush under the rug, but guess what? Take the precautions. Maybe it's a mental health thing. There's medication for that. Maybe it's just a phase. They're just getting bullied at school, and maybe you need to address those bullies' parents. Maybe it's just they're going to grow out of it eventually. But to let a child take a drastic choice such as is crazy to me, especially when there's data and statistics that show that As they get older, it's just the phase that they go out of it. There's kids nowadays who threaten to take their lives because they're being bullied. But now it's a situation, they're threatening to take their life unless we allow them to have the whole sex change operation. That one's just on the table immediately. Oh, we got to do it now. There are actually statistics tied to, people who go through the transgender or the sex change operation. There's statistics tied to self-harm. The statistics tied to self-deletion, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to say it on YouTube because, YouTube's a soft platform. But there's actually numbers that accommodate them making this choice that relate, or the end result is them taking their life. It's mental dysfunction, especially when it's prolonged. But I think that it comes from external influences, what they see. Like they said in the beginning of the video, social media plays a part. So comment down below, let me know y'all's thoughts on this, man. We live in a crazy world. We live in a world that is just nuts. People just do what they want to do, and then it's just people are too soft to speak up. So it's okay, honey. Go ahead and do what you want to do. No, this is all the enemy. This is the plan of the enemy. As I said prior, the sexes and the gender switching up. Excuse me. The sexes and the gender switching up. Like, God created you as a man to be a man. He has things that he's designed for you to do as that man, and vice versa. But the world, obviously, when the world comes into play, right? The enemy, Satan, he tries to manipulate everything. He switches everything. Oh, we're going to have women that are going to be more manly, and now the men need to be more womanly. Everything is toxic nowadays. No, the world is just too sensitive nowadays. We need to go back to order, to structure, to discipline, because that's how things actually had a breathing chance. Nowadays, it's a clown world. It's a circus. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you feel right. When feelings are fleeting, emotions are fleeting. You feel one way one day, you feel different the next day. Oh, I made a whole drastic choice and decision. It's affected and changed my whole life now. Oh, but then you got some parents over here just giving a pat on back, man. I pray for the world, man. I pray for, we are living in disgusting times, y'all. Very disgusting times. A trans child. Really? Hey, peace, love, prosperity, man. God bless y'all. There's a point in time to where you got to stand for what's right, what's actually moral, what's actually correct. The preset that God, the order that God set to things. There's a reason why God has, a certain expectation or a certain order laid out for certain things, because he sees the beginning, the end, and everything in between. All knowing. Resulting in kids making these changes, making these choices, to then later have them on depression pills, to them later have them take their own lives, or to them later have them regret the decision and choice. If there was more reverence for God in our world, these things would not be common. And not just that, you would have more people who are mentally sound. But you got people on drugs, you got people on the personal drug of social media, taking a look at the external world and believing, is this my reality? No, that is the enemy knocking on your door, planting seeds in your mind. It's deeper than just you scrolling, man. There's seeds being planted from all the content that you consume. But people just live in this blind, oblivious world that it just is what it is. Okay, then you just gonna get ate up. You're gonna get torn up by the wolves, ravenous wolves. Because you sway left and right. You have no solidarity in anything you stand for. You have no belief system. You are not able to stand your ground. You're like a leaf in the wind. Wild work, man. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, man. We'll see y'all next time.